So let's talk about the reason why Bob probably contacted me to do this, and that's about the earlier stuff I did with LA Guns, and which at the time I didn't feel it was particularly groundbreaking, but it had a certain tonality to it that was almost, people used to always describe it as rough or raw or dirty or something like that. And which leads back to the sloppiness part. There's a guy named Johnny Thunders, who a lot of people might be familiar with and might not be familiar with, and he was in the New York Dolls. And he would play a Les Paul Jr. basically through a Fender Twin Reverb, and he is just the king of the slop. Which to me, I interpreted it as the next version of Joe Perry, the next version of Keith Richards, you know, the kind of rock and roll kind of thing. And at the time when I got into Johnny Thunders, I was also really into Randy Rhoads, I was really into Eddie Van Halen and Tony Iommi, and stuff like that, Michael Schenker. So I wanted to blend that together. I wanted to go, okay, I can shred like this, and I can play sloppy like this. How do I put this all together? And Nicky Beat, our drummer, said, oh, that's Jimmy Page, which I never really thought about, but Page could do it all. He could shred, he could play sloppy, actually sloppier than anybody, which I've had many debates over his Arms benefit concert, his solo in Stairway to Heaven. Was it genius? Was it pure emotional genius, or was it pure crap? Well, it's open to interpretation, and that's the greatest thing about rock and roll, you know. Some people would say, like, I know for a fact that Steve Vai, he defends that solo till the end, you know, going, no, that's Page, man, he's doing his thing, you know, and all that stuff. But anyways, all these things went into those early LA Guns records, especially the first two, which is a blend of Johnny Thunders and Eddie Van Halen and Randy Rhoads and even Mick Mars, you know, from Motley Crue. You know, I was a young guy, and that was the stuff that was popular, and I tried to get it all into one thing. And the way I recorded back then, which I think had a lot to do with that sound, I used solid state amps. I used Randalls, and on the first record I used Randall RG100s, which are the same amp that Dimebag used later on the Pantera records, and we used them in a very different way. That solid state kind of tone, you could get this really tight rhythm thing going on, or if you opened it up, brought in some more mid-range into your tone, you get more of a sound like this, which you can hear all the strings, but each string has its own kind of hair on it, which makes it a very uneven sound, and it makes it sound dirty. And a lot of people associated me with that sound, and I've even been called the pioneer of sleaze guitar, which I think is absolutely absurd, because there's nothing sleazy about my guitar. So let's play some LA Guns songs, and I'll show you something. How about Sex Action? I got the distortion pedal on now, which is a copy of an old Tube Screamer. Just going through my tube amp, through the Echoplex, and my 51 no-caster pickups. Here we go. See that it's basically, you could play the song on acoustic guitar, but with the right kind of attitude, the right kind of sound, it becomes, you know, a hard rock tune with some blues licks, some country licks, all in the space of 15 seconds, you know, and that's that early LA Guns. And then like No Mercy is kind of like a Motorhead thing. Very sloppy, very rock and roll, loud, dirty, and sleazy.